Okay, as a certified bike nerd, I have I have one Facebook find. I got this one for 60 bucks. It was locked, it was bricked, and after some good luck with Rybit after VanMoof went out of business. This is a VanMoof S3, but when VanMoof went out of business, they were bought by McLaren. And at some point in time, there's a company called Rybit. They work on different bikes. They rent different bikes, primarily, from what I understand, they're a rental. They have offices in New York City, San Francisco, Seattle, kind of the main bike capitals. And one of the Rybit persons was down here at a store they support in the Washington, D.C. area. And they helped me get the code because these were real trailblazers with technology, with Apple Find My technology. They're really a cool bike. Um, I just dig them. You can appreciate that. They've got, some alarm system functionality. This right here on the front, it's actually a front wheel drive. And in the back, that's the shifter. They've got like an e-shifter back there. You can set it to manual or automatic. Just a really cool bike. It's more European. It's not designed to go a gazillion miles an hour, but it rides cool. It looks cool. It's one of those bikes where everybody always goes, "What kind of bike is that?" Or the people who already know. So, but being a Facebook find, it had a few issues. After I got it unbricked, it has a bent crank, and the wheel is pretty badly out of true. I don't know if it's bent beyond repair, but I decided first I bought an X3 thinking it was an S3 and it wasn't, and that didn't work. So I got rid of that. I couldn't get that fixed. The electronics were damaged beyond control. Sold it for about what I paid for it to some guy in Brooklyn, Sinclair. He's a little bit of a VanMoof philanthropist up there. He helps a whole lot of people in the VanMoof community get their bikes fixed. Really a nice guy. I think he's an electrical engineer. He lives out kind of near Bensonhurst, which is the mobster area. So lo and behold, fast forward yesterday, I was looking around on Marketplace and I saw this one, a VanMoof S2 for sale for $1. And that told me the guy was probably just either A, they need to get rid of it, or B, it wasn't really a dollar. So I connected with him, got out there. It's on Capitol Hill, literally about 15 blocks behind the U.S. Capitol. And he and his wife are both designers. And he loved the bike, but they live on a boat, and somehow it got dipped in the water, and it ruined the electrical stuff in there. So I'll go into that more later. But what I want to touch on right now are the differences with the S3 and the VanMoof S2. Of course, this is the older one. The S3 is a newer one, and they really went through and did some changes with that one. I was hoping that it was an S3, it ended up being an S2. But when I just looked at the picture, I thought, well, surely I can replace some of the parts that I'm missing, that I need to buy or whatever. Bent crank, a bent sort of out of true wheel. Those are the main things. And then I like the idea of the accessory because the S2, the dollar bike, has a rear rack on there. I thought, well, cool, I can use the rear rack. Maybe the pedals are a little marred up, but primarily it was the crank and the wheel. Those were the main two needs. So I did a bunch of research and I figured out that on the S2, the wheel doesn't fit. It has a different torque sensor in there. Older S2 has and I think it's like a 2-speed or something like that. And I think that's why the torque sensor there is different. Also, the S2 has mechanical disc brakes. The older one has the mechanical disc brakes. So the crank arms are different since the torque thing's different. The only things I could really swap out would be something like maybe the pedals, the kickstand. I think the fenders are even a little bit different. Maybe the handlebars, stuff that's really kind of inconsequential. Even the rear rack, from what I understand, I'd have to make some modifications. I wasn't really interested in doing any of that. So instead of using this to part and then scrap the rest, I'm going to try to give this one a quick fix and kind of keep you updated and show you what I find as I go along. First thing I found, so the guy that I bought it from, the designer, lives on a boat. He and his wife, really nice people. I first found this one on Facebook Marketplace. It said for $1, and I thought, well, either it's not really $1 or they want to get rid of it. One of the two. They wanted to get rid of it. They're moving offices from Capitol Hill over by the Capitol somewhere else. And this one was dusty. The tires are flat, so I've been sitting for a minute. I brought it home, wiped it up, and it's really a good-looking little bike. Whenever you buy these VanMoofs, remember to get into the app. You have to transfer ownership, and it's better to do it right then on the spot. He pulled up his iPhone, went through all this stuff, and we got the validation code, so we got it in my phone. So I officially own this. And so even if I want to donate it to somebody else or a charity or whatever, then I can pass it along to them and they can use it. Because as an e-bike guy, as a green person, I want to see this go to good use. I think a lot of us are really kind of put together that way.